All right, a couple of important things to note with Canvas before we get going here is you'll notice that by default with the home page we have what's called the modules view. Now, it is possible to add content for your students to reference material throughout the semester. It's a good idea to have handouts and certain things available to students to study or to access and print before coming to class, and it's up to you. All right, so let's talk about how modules works. So to add a module, we just click on the Add Module button. We can give it a title. Okay, and you can add content to that module. You can drop files in there. So if I had a document that I wanted students to refer to, I could drag and drop that in here. Content that I want students to refer to study, whatever, I can put documents in there. Let's take a look at how to add a URL. So if we click on that Add button and then come over to External URL, you'll notice that maybe you have a website that you'd like students to have access to. It is possible to put the URL there, give it a name, and add the item. And you'll notice that it adds the item here. However, it is a website, and not all websites like to be hot linked or embedded into another website. And so not all websites are like that. So depending on the website, you might check it out to make sure it's going to work or not. If it doesn't work, students will always have the option of clicking on a link to that site up here at the top of the page. That will then open it in another tab. So there's that to be aware of. Now, that's kind of not great, but fortunately a lot of times we have YouTube videos that we like to use in our classes. The good news is that we seldom have those types of issues with YouTube videos. So let's say that instead of a website, which we'll remove here, let's say that we want to add, click on the Add button there, and an external URL, and we want a link to a YouTube video. And we'll click Add Item and Publish. You'll notice that you can hide or show content to students by clicking on that Publish Unpublish button. So you can unpublish a whole module or an individual item. You notice that this item is still published, but students will not be able to see it or access it because they won't be able to see the module that it is contained in. So now they'll be able to see everything. All right, so let's take a look at this video. So click on that, and it does have the video embedded into Canvas. All right, so that's neat. Another important thing with adding content, we've talked about how to add documents, how to add URLs or links. We can also add what are called pages. This is kind of like a web page. So I could click on Page, create a page, and I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to say Week 2 Information and add that item. And I'm going to click on the Week 2 Information, and so I clicked on the title to get to this page, and then I can click on Edit. And I can add whatever I want to this page. So let's say that I had a bunch of text that I wanted to type up. I have text here with instructions. So maybe I want to have some instructions online for students, or maybe I want to have a week overview. Again, it's up to you, but you can add the content that you want for your students. Perhaps on this page you would like to have the content for them to review. Again, we can Make that bold, turn it into an actual heading. So if I had some content that I wanted the students, maybe I wanted that video, right? I can copy this URL, go back to the class. Let's see, let's do hyperlink. So we're going to add a link. This is an external link. And I'm going to say video to watch. And the link I'm going to put here, and done, and save. So once that is saved, the students then could have instructions or week overviews or a link to a video that needs to be watched. They could click on that, it would open the video.
If you've got a pack,
right? So there's a lot of options for things that could be done. You'll notice with many YouTube videos, you can click on the share button and embed, and you can get an embed code. So I'm going to copy all of this. I'm going to go back over. I'm going to go back into that week 2 information and click edit. And you can make multiple pages. You don't have to do everything on just one page. So maybe instead of a link, I would rather have the video like right in line. So I can click on this embed button over here on the right and paste that embed code that I copied and submit. And it's going to put that YouTube video right in line with their content. So there are lots of things that you can put on this page. You can put images, you could put videos, text, links, whatever it is that you want for your students to have. You don't have to do this, but it's a good idea to have certain content available to your students so that they can go back and refer back to the reference material that they need to study or learn or watch or whatever. So it's a good idea to build out that information for them from that initial homepage there. Okay, and again, if you ever need any assistance with that, feel free to reach out to us and tell us. We would love to review this or go over the options with you and help you build out the content. But, all right, one last tip or trick. All right, so one last little tip. Under the settings option, okay, if you have a colleague that works at the college that is kind enough to share their content with you, it's good to make friends, especially if you're new. Find your colleagues, ask to look at their material. If they have material that you're interested in that you might want to use, you might just ask them, hey, you know what, would it be all right if I use this material to get started this semester? If they say yes, contact us and tell us we can help get that information into your class so that it's already ready to go. On the other hand, let's say that if it's a new semester and you want to use the content that you used last semester in a previous course that you taught, you can always come here, again, under Settings, and go to Import Course Content. And what you can do is you can copy a previously taught Canvas course of yours. All you do is simply you can type in the name of the course or even the CRN, the course registration number, and look up that course. So there is a course that I am familiar with that has been used in the past for me, and I could select that course, and I could choose to bring in either all of the content from that course, or I could select specific content. Maybe I only want one module from that course, or one activity, or one quiz, or whatever. I could get really specific and only choose one item. So anyway, keep that in mind and just follow the prompts for, if I were to click import right now, it would bring over that whole course into this Canvas course. So this is good to do when the course is completely empty, right? If you already have content in it and you're bringing over a whole other course into this, it's going to bring all that content and put it on top of whatever you have in here. And if you don't want that, you might want to do the following. So again, under Settings, you might want to reset the course content, which will just make it fresh. It will take out everything that you've put in there, start it over new, and get everything out of there before you import another course into your course. Or I should say import that course's content into your course, right? Important to note that course content does not include students. So you're not moving students' content only, okay? So another tip or trick as far as getting set up and getting started quickly. All right, and that concludes this video. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us in the TELS department. You can always find our number here in the help section, 771-6120. All right, that concludes this one. Talk to you guys later.